Yeah, I'm sitting in the comfy chair today.
The dishwasher too loud.
I don't know, can you guys hear the dishwasher behind me? I don't think it's too loud. It's one of them fancy Milas. Anyways, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to Homestead Studios, and I want to be a little more relaxed about today's video and talk to you about some of the must-haves if I were to put together and build my dream kitchen. So it might be kind of funny to admit, but I have a list going on my computer of must-have designs for various rooms or must-have items for various rooms throughout the house. And if I were to ever sit down and plan and design a dream home from start to finish, it would include these items. So I decided to take a peek through those, and since we've been on topics about trends or design ideas to avoid, I figured I'd share with you guys some of the must-have items if I were to put together my dream kitchen. Now, these are not in any order of importance, they're just must-have items that I would want to make sure I included in my dream kitchen. So to kick things off, I would include quartz countertops. Now, there's a lot of different options out there, and I did make a video a few weeks back discussing some of those, so I'll throw a link up in the top corner and one down in the description just in case you missed that. And all of these different options, be it granite, marble, or laminate, or quartz, they all have their pros and cons, but every time I'm in a discussion with somebody or every time I'm sitting down to design, I always seem to come back to quartz. What I love about quartz is that it's made with a natural stone and therefore mimics a lot of the qualities of granite or marble without having some of the downsides that come with those different countertops. Quartz is manufactured in a manner that allows it to have a uniform consistency and strength and porosity throughout, in the fact that it's non-porous. Or at least every quartz that I have worked with has been non-porous. I have read a couple comments on some of the past videos about some horror stories with quartz. So make sure to talk to your specific installer and your specific manufacturer about some of the different options out there, because there clearly does seem to be some discrepancies in quality or durability in terms of the different manufacturers. Along these same lines, when you're sitting in the showroom and looking at the small slab sample pieces, they are often a very good representation of the entire slab because it is a man-made product. That's not always the case when it comes to real stone like granite or marble, where you can have some major inconsistencies from the sample piece all the way to the larger slabs, where colors may be more dominant in the larger slab, or colors that you thought were going to be present just mute away into the background on a larger scale. Next up on my must-have list is deep drawers in the base cabinets. When my wife and I bought our current home, I think there was only one bank of drawers in the entire set of base cabinets, and they were just a 15-inch variety. And after redoing our kitchen and adding as many drawers to the base cabinets as we could, there's no way I would go back to having only standard base cabinets. The beauty of deep drawers is they give perfect reach access to everything you have stored within that cabinet. There's no need to dig to the back for a bowl or a pot anymore, because you can pull it all out and have it right in front of you. This is highlighted even more when you have full extension drawers that completely pull out, revealing everything directly in front of you. In fact, I've had many clients who have moved all of their dishware from their wall cabinets down into these deep drawers and couldn't be happier. The next must-have item for my dream kitchen would be a counter depth fridge. Never again will I install one of the standard, large, bulky depth refrigerators. I will only ever use counter depth refrigerators from now on, whether they are the hidden style that uses cabinet door fronts to hide the fridge, or the standard stainless steel style like you see there behind me. Now, this may be my personal preference, but after I go through all the painstaking process of curating and laying out this beautiful set of cabinetry, the last thing I want to do is stick in a giant protruding shiny box into the mix. I will happily give up the extra storage space that you get with a standard depth refrigerator for one that seamlessly blends into the design. Now, one area of the kitchen that I do want some depth is the sink. I'm not sure there is such a thing as a kitchen sink that is too big or too deep. Even though most of our kitchens now include dishwashers, there is always a certain amount of work that needs to be done in the sink, whether it is in cooking prep work and filling pots, or cleaning up dishes at the end of a meal. Having a sink that is deep enough to either fill or clean a large pot is just a very practical item to include in a kitchen that sees a lot of use. This brings up an interesting dilemma, and I'm kind of curious. Do you guys prefer a one basin or two basin sink in your kitchen? So the next item on my list has been one of some controversy over the last few videos, and that is some sort of seating in my kitchen. Now, believe it or not, this is probably one of the most single requested must-haves from my clients as well, and I can really understand why, because it would also, and is also, on my must-have list. Now, it doesn't matter what type of seating it is, because room layout has a lot to do with how you work in seating into a kitchen space. But whether it's an island, a bench, or a window seat doesn't really matter. I find that some sort of seating within the kitchen creates a certain level of comfort and hominess to the space. Seating provides a place to have a cup of coffee and read the newspaper, or I guess maybe read the news on your iPad. That's a little more relevant to today. Or sit and have an intimate conversation with a friend. It even provides a place for kids to be able to do their homework. Finally, it doesn't matter how open concept our spaces are or how closed off our kitchen might be. We always seem to be doing some sort of entertaining or having people hanging out in the kitchen space. Now, before I get into my next item on my must-have list, I'm going to throw a big old asterisk up in the top corner, because this particular item can go one of two ways, or at least in my mind it generally goes one of two ways. And this item is a built-in range hood. I find range hoods to be a somewhat polarizing aspect in design, in that the overall design aesthetic or the overall goal of the design really tends to dictate how the design of the range hood should ultimately go. So in certain instances, large, obvious range hoods fit the design and are well suited to becoming the focal point of the space. However, in other instances, a range hood that disappears into built-in cabinetry can often look timeless and take a kitchen to a whole new level of elegance. What I've realized over the years is that in truly show-stopping kitchens, range hoods tend not to have a middle ground. Now, ironically, I say all of this sitting in front of a kitchen I both designed and built with a range hood that is largely middle ground. Now, this kitchen behind me was built primarily for function over aesthetics. Not to say it's not a beautiful kitchen, because I do believe it is. And at the end of the day, a simple under-the-cabinet range hood just seemed to suit the client's needs better than the other options. Now, speaking of range hoods, next up on the list is a professional range. Now, this is a very personal item and something that many people might not care about at all. However, my wife and I love to cook. We love to experiment with food and recipes, and a professional range somehow makes that easier, more fun, more interesting. It's hard to explain, but it is an area or an item we are happy we splurged a few extra dollars on over, say, a mid-range model. Now, whether it is a gas cooktop and an electric oven, or a gas cooktop and a gas oven, or an induction cooktop and an electric oven, that's really a personal choice at the end of the day. Now, having this personal experience of spending more money on the range and being happy we did so, I often find myself telling clients, at least those I know who love to bake and cook and spend time in their kitchens, that if you're gonna splurge anywhere, make it your cooking system. Now, the last item on this list, which isn't really a specific item at all, it's more of a general idea, is proper lighting. Now, I can already hear the clickety-clack of keys in the comments down below of people saying, here we go again. He can't seem to discuss kitchen design without talking about lighting. And it's true, I can't, because it seems to come up in every single video. But honestly, I really do think it is that important. So if I was sitting down to design my dream kitchen right now, I'd be making sure that all of my work areas are properly lit with task lighting, be it under cabinet lighting for the countertops or pendants above an island. And I'd also be making sure that I have enough general lighting in the kitchen space through downlights or pot lights up in the ceiling, because I don't ever want to go back to working under my own shadow or working in a dark kitchen ever again. By taking the time right now, early in the design stage, and thinking about lighting, speaking with your electrician, and having a plan from the get-go, you can avoid a lot of problems down the road. I know your future self would thank you, and I know mine would. Mine would as well? I know my future self would too. Well, there you have it. Those are my 8 most important or 8 must-have items if I were to sit down and start designing my dream kitchen today. Hopefully it gave you an idea or two, or something to at least think about if you're in the design stages of a kitchen project. On that note, if you want a second set of eyes, or maybe just a fresh perspective on your own kitchen space, hit us up at Homestead Studios. We would love to work with you guys. Thanks a ton for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, it's cold. Oh, I'll throw up a couple extra videos if you guys want to see some more kitchen design content. See you next week.